Like talking about financial goals and setting them up is an uncomfortable feeling, but it's a topic we need to cover. So I'm recording this episode for a third time today because I keep on having this feeling every time I record it. But let's do it. Let's talk about it. End of the day, we're here to spark a conversation. So let's talk about financial planning for the year 2023. Welcome to the Student Investor Podcast with Ivan Sambo, the podcast that focuses on starting a conversation about money, investing, growing your career, and being a young person in South Africa. Our goal is to simplify the conversation so that we can all learn and grow as young people in South Africa. So hello, future millionaires and billionaires. I love saying that. I love saying hello, future millionaires and billionaires, because I believe it actually. I believe that we are all destined for great things, and I hope we will achieve that. I know actually we will achieve that. So today's episode is focusing on financial goals, setting financial goals. I want to say financial plans, but I don't want to use that term. Let's just say setting financial goals for yourself for the year 2023. It's an uncomfortable thing to say actually. I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable even speaking about it. And this is a feeling I've been having every single time I sit down with myself and I have to set new goals for the year in terms of finances. And I did something I've been doing this thing for the past 3 years that only last year I realized when it comes to financial goals and setting them. And why I feel like that. Because majority of the time, we all know the rules when it comes to setting financial goals. They must be realistic, there must be a timeline, they must be measurable, and all of that. We know all of that. And I've been following that method for the longest time, but I kept having this uncomfortable feeling of not fully achieving my goals every single year while I follow all those steps. And only last year, when I was sitting in December reviewing my goals, that I actually noticed the mistake when it comes to financial planning or creating financial goals for ourselves. And that's the topic I want us to cover today, on why we don't fully achieve our financial goals, and if we do, we don't feel that good at the end of the year, but we have achieved our goals. Why is that? And something I realized last year is because we look at financial goals separately from the other elements of our lives. Let me set the scene. So, for those who know, last year was my final year in university. I was doing my LLB degree. It was my final year. So in the beginning of the year, I set financial goals for myself. And my goals were measurable, they had a timeline, they were realistic, they met all the criteria that when you Google how to set financial goals pop up. All of my goals did. They ticked every single box. But in December, when it was time to review them, I was uncomfortable because I didn't fully reach them. I had the discipline, but I didn't fully reach them. So how come? It's because I saw my financial goals separate from my other goals in life. And I think as young people, we do that a lot. We look at financial goals, we set them different to our social goals. We set them different from what is happening at home. We set them different to what you and your partner want to achieve from that year. We set them different to what individually you want to experience that year. For me, last year's a final year, I said, I want to live the best life. I want to enjoy being a student for the last time as an undergrad. I want to do everything. I want wine tasting. I want Long Street. I want the experience of being in Cape Town as a student. That was one of the goals I set. And I didn't have a financial plan for it. You see the kicker there? You see the mistake there? But at the same time, I had other social goals for myself. I wanted to discover who I am. I wanted to fall in love. I wanted to experience being loved. I wanted to give to my family. I want my brothers to feel loved by their oldest brother. But I didn't have a financial plan for that as well. Then I had my academic goals and I set them up as well. And I had no financial plans for them as well. So I created my financial plan, my financial goals alone separately. And in them, I talked about how much I want to invest for the year in the GSE, in the New York stock market, in the Australian market, how much I want to put in crypto, how much I want to save, how much I want to reduce my monthly expenses for this year. And I set them there. And my financial goals didn't speak to my social goals, to my family goals, to my academic goals. They did not align at all. And when it came December and I reviewed everything, I was uncomfortable. But at the same time, I didn't reach my financial goals because I was focusing on the other ones, which were short-term, majority of them, like experiencing the best of Cape Town. That's short-term gratitude. That means I get the gratitude by that experience at that given time, and I can go out to wine tasting in Cape Town or Stellenbosch or Devonville. I can go for a sunset ride. I can go for this and this every single month of the year. Meaning those goals are achievable in short space of time that I prioritize them. Suffering financially at the same time because I'm not reaching my financial goals. And that's something I didn't realize until the end. So this year, to set the tone for this podcast, I want us all to take into account all the elements of our life when we're creating our financial goals. So that when we create them and when we have them and we start speaking, going deep into other topics we'll cover in this podcast, we know what the plan is. We know what the roadmap is, because the roadmap will cover our career. The roadmap will cover our social life. The roadmap will cover our relationship with our partners, our families, our academics. Will cover every element. So when we have an expert guest in this podcast covering a specific topic, you know what your goal there in that field is, and you know how financially you must get there as well. Because you may have academic goals, but in order to fully achieve those academic goals, you need the finances for it. Sometimes those finances may be as small as buying a new calculator for yourself. That's money. Those financial goals may be you needing a new laptop to achieve your academic goals. That's money. So you see how your financial goals might also speak to your academic goals, speak to your social goals, whatever the case may be. And that's why I want this podcast, this first episode, to set the tone for the next episode to come, so that when we have an expert guest to speak to us about investing in the GSE, you already have a goal and a map to get there. When we speak and we have a guest and we cover a topic around developing your career, you already have a goal there, and your goal is linked, your academic career goal is linked to financial goal, and the map is making sense. The map is a mapping, if that is even a word. So yeah, that's what I wanted to cover on this episode today. The mistake I have, I didn't want to go down the road on how to set financial goals. I know we can all Google that. We can all just find those rules, those categories, and be able to tune them to the way we want. But I believe that this was an element of setting financial goals that no one covered, especially to us young people. Because we are broad in thinking. That's another thing people don't understand about the young people. We are broad in thinking. We are broad in things we want to do. And it's not about, people say, no, don't be too broad. Just down it down and be able to articulate them in a simple way and cut off other things. But doesn't that take away from our youthness? Doesn't that take away from the fact that we must explore and experience the best on life and experience all that life has to give in a proper way, in a responsible way? But it doesn't have to be like that, because I believe we are young, so we need to be able to do almost everything because we have the time for it now. We don't have responsibilities as compared to a married couple with 5 kids and a dog. We are still young. So our goals must in tune, our financial goals must be in tune with all of that, all the elements of things we want to do, and see and prioritize which one can you do now, which one can you delay later, but do not cut off. Because I do not believe that you need to cut off things, because I believe if you're craving for something and you are young, you need to do it in a responsible way, but you need to do it and experience it. Because you don't need to be an old 60-year-old man now busy wearing skinny jeans at a club because you weren't able to do that during your time. No, I'm like, if in your goals this year you want to experience being at what name of this club, for example, you want to be at Coco's, you want to experience going to a club once in your life, that must be in your plan as well. And financially you must ensure that there's nothing wrong with that. Someone cannot say, hey, you cannot prioritize going to a club while you're still if not. No, if you want to do it in the experience that you crave for, put it in your goals this year, making sure that your financial plan as well speak to that and experience it, because it's part of growing, it's part of knowing who you are as an individual, it's part of also experimenting and feeling the best that life has to give. And your financial plan must speak to that and must ensure that it enables you to do that. And yes, obviously we will suffer financially, because you're taking away from yourself financially. Maybe you're blowing 5,000 rand or 1,000 rand at Coco, whatever the amount you're spending, you budget yourself to spend, but the experience that you'll get there for a young person is worth it. But I don't believe you must detain and hold yourself back and experience all the things that you crave for just so that you can have. Like, that's why we see old men with skinny jeans in the club in their 60s. It's because people were telling them this while they were still young, when they were craving for club. Now this man is 60 years old, a big belly, want to be at News Cafe with my 2000s. I don't want to shout, but I hope that makes sense actually. So your financial goals this year, please ensure that's in tune with everything you want to do, and prioritize which thing comes first and which one comes later. And at the same time, do not fall for short-term gratitude. I know sometimes it feels good, but sometimes just delay it a little bit or can achieve it at a later stage. Well, like for example, if you want to, one of your goals this year is to go to Coco and you want to spend like 5k in Coco, just put it for July instead of January, so you can be able to save up enough to go there. Do you understand? So I hope that makes sense. So that's it for the first episode of The Student Investor. Setting goals for yourself, setting financial goals for yourself that's in tune with all the elements of your life. I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and have an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next episode. I hope the conversation was inspiring and will lead you to take action. As always, I love hearing your thoughts. So what was your takeaway point from the conversation? Let me know on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. I am Ivan Sambo in all those platforms. Tag me, follow me there, and let's continue the conversation. As always, I am Ivan Sambo, your student investor, and thank you so much for listening.